Okay. Let me pull this up. Sweet. And what I want to do is I want to mute that for now. Okay, so we're starting here. I apologize, I'm a little bit late. I was overclocking the RAM on my computer, and that ended up taking longer than I thought it would. Actually, it kind of did, kind of didn't. Long story short, I started overclocking it, got pretty far, and I was like, okay, so this looks pretty good. I think I'll take this. And I tried to push it just a little bit further, and I'm like, okay, so it's not going to work very well there. And then I dialed it back down, and then it was working. So then I needed to run just a little bit of a stress test before I started this because I didn't want my computer to crash halfway through. So ended up being not a couple minutes late. It's actually like 10 minutes late now, 14 minutes late. But anyway, we're started here, and it looks like, from what I could tell, whoops, not what I wanted to hit. There we go. It's back now. I'm gonna go over here. Hey, AZM, welcome to stream. Did you check out our Discord channel? Did I not see you in there, or did you just have a different name that I didn't realize? Because I remember you were here last stream for a little bit. I don't remember how long you were there, but yeah, we have a Discord channel now, and it's gonna be a little bit difficult for me balancing between watching them. I have muted the Discord server right now on my end, just because I don't want to get like a whole bunch of notifications up here while people are posting in the Discord server. But Discord server is fair game for chat during live stream. You could either preferably just throw it into, I guess we'll just throw it into producer talk for now. So, hi, Shuffle It. Please respond to me. Notice me, senpai. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Let me see here. Trying to think about what we're going to do today, because I could do some wild stuff. Oh, actually, that reminds me. If you look at my CPU usage, it's like through the roof. Good thing I noticed that. Audio settings. I was recording, so I needed low latency. Thing to note: if you're recording and you're using this thing called input monitoring, so if you go onto a track here and you click this little line button, it's input monitoring, and what it'll do is it'll play the input through like your speakers or headphones, which is good for if you want to hear what it's going to sound like when you're recording. But one of the things that happens there is, like, if you're playing guitar, you'll notice there's a delay. So you got to change the IO buffer size to something shorter if you want less of a delay. But when you're producing, you want it to something longer so that there's less stuttering and lagging. It's just something that I suggest you tweak depending on what you're doing. So if you're recording, have it lower. If you're mixing or producing, then have it higher. So I normally keep it to 512 just so that there's a the delay is only 35 milliseconds as opposed to here it gets up to 58. 35 is bearable for me, like when I'm playing a MIDI controller. So it's kind of just like balancing between latency or processing. So however you want to optimize that. So let me apply that there. Hopefully it doesn't kill the audio. Okay, cool. So we still have audio going in through the stream. So one of the things I did over this week was I did a little bit of tweaks, just a few tweaks to this. I added a kick drum here just because I was trying to record guitar and I needed something to synchronize to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in. We'll take a listen here, decide if we like it or not. And I also I added a a weird effect here. It's just white noise that's kind of... it's really simple what it's doing. We have ES2 here. Let me get rid of those so you could hear it raw. Sounds like this raw. So what it's doing is it's slowly fading in. That's what the envelope 2 here is doing. It's just got a... Oh, wait, no. Did I really do that? I meant to... Maybe that's why I was having issues. Oh, no, sorry, envelope 3. That's right. That's what's modulating the volume there. It has a slow attack here, so it slowly fades in. And that's pretty much all we're doing to the volume envelope. Yeah, I had a brain fart for a second there. I thought it was envelope 2. There was another synthesizer I was using recently where it was like that envelope instead. Whatever. But anyway, so it's just got a slow attack, so it fades in. So that's what that fade in sound is. And it kind of reaches its full volume about here. And then what we have is a noise oscillator that's just doing noise. So if we play this, that's what it sounds like raw with that fade in. And then we have this filter here, and the filter here is pretty basic. We have a bandpass, which just gives us mids. And then over here, we have a high cut, or low pass. And what I've done is I've had the cutoff modulated by a LFO. And this LFO here is just going really fast. And the type is noise. So it'll just randomly go up and down. And that's kind of like goes... so that's part of it there. However, if I actually turn this off, you'll notice something interesting. The white noise sounds different here. It's very agitating. And the way that's done is I have frequency modulation on this noise oscillator. This works better in some synthesizers than other synthesizers. In the case of ES2, it works really well. So what you have is you have these, I don't remember exactly which one it is, but one of these is actually modulating the frequency of the noise oscillator now. And what that does is it kind of makes the noise kind of pitch up and down really fast, which technically shouldn't do much if you're actually synthesizing noise. But in this case, it kind of affects it in a way that makes it sound rougher. So if I just decrease this from 0.34 to 0, oops, let me, just white noise. So you could hear what that's doing there. And what I've done is I've mixed between these halfway, exactly halfway. And we get this sort of like, we get part of the darkness of that one and part of the flappiness of the other one. So that's all I've done with this. And then I've added a EQ to it to do some pretty aggressive EQing. I boosted the low end so I could kind of have just more, it basically make the track sound a little muddy. The reason I did that was because this area sounded very, very, very like clean in a bad way. It didn't sound like it had enough. So what I did was I boosted this area that's typically muddy to kind of add mud to the track so that it kind of fills it out. Normally I wouldn't do this. However, because it's an intro and we don't have a lot, I'm doing this so that we could kind of just like fill out what is currently like unoccupied. So that's what I've done there. And then I also cut off the high end quite a bit so I can kind of deaden the sound a bit. So we'll still get that flappy sound from ES2, but we're not going to get the high end portion of it. So it'll sound like this. So now it sounds like that, and then I just added sausage fattener to kind of make it a bit louder and also have a bit more fatness to it. Yes, it is Logic. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much what I've done for this one. Otherwise, like the intro is essentially the same. And then I added that kick drum there. Oh, that was another thing I did. I added an LFO to this. So if you listen here, you'll notice it has like this sound that's very smooth. And then the LFO kicks in and gates it. Actually, it's gating this entire stack. And what that does, it actually gives it like this really cool like bouncing sort of sound when you get into the second part here with the kick drum. So you hear the difference that makes? And then I record a guitar. Okay, so I'll walk you through what I did with the guitar, because it's actually raw guitar into my audio interface. All the processing was done in the DAW. And there's actually a lot to talk about here. And it's actually, I know it's not like I'm not doing a lot of producing, I'm doing a lot of explaining what I did, but it's a little bit nice for me, just because I've been out of the loop a little bit with production. So this gave me a chance to do something new during the week when I had time. And with the creative juices were flowing, and now I get to explain it all to you guys so you kind of know my thought process while doing it. Yes, I do play guitar. I used to play it a lot more. I've been playing it a lot less lately. I really want to play a lot of guitar, but it's hard to play guitar when there's no one else to play with. Because it's one thing to just kind of sit and play guitar. It's another thing to play it with other people. When you play an instrument with other people, it's so fun. It's like amazing. I love it. But I haven't had anyone to play with, so I haven't been playing so much guitar because it's like, it's not quite as fun. I mean, sure, it still sounds nice. It's enjoyable. I might actually play some guitar in the stream so that we could record some more. It'll pretty much be crappy playing, though, because I haven't played guitar really for like 2.5 years. So, and before that, I only played it about 2.5 years. So, I got to the point to where I could play pretty well, and I could play in like, you know, just with friends, but then it kind of like stopped when I started producing, and I wasn't able to play with friends anymore because we had moved. And ever since then, I pick up a guitar and play, like, I have like 3 songs that I consistently play just because I like the sound of them so much and I know how to play them pretty well. So that's what I just play on guitars, because it's kind of like this relaxing thing for me. But I do want to get into it more, and it might actually happen because it sounds like one of my brothers wants to pick up guitar as well. So that would be really cool, because then we can both play guitar together and I'll have someone to play with again. So that'd be awesome. But yes, I do play guitar. There's a lot to go through here. First, I literally just grabbed my guitar. I'll probably grab it later, and I can show you guys what it is in case you're interested. But and I line it directly into my interface. My interface has this little button next to the inputs that lets you select whether you're lining in a guitar or if you're lining in a line-in, which is they have different levels, and there's kind of different expectations when you plug those things in. So if you have a little port on your audio interface, you have to be careful what you plug into it, because if you don't have that selector and you like plug in, like for example, an MP3 player, you plug in the output of an MP3 player into the input of your audio interface, what that can do is it can actually slowly but surely damage your audio interface, because you're overloading the preamps inside of it that are amplifying the sound. So you really have to know what your interface supports and what you can plug into it in order to do this. Mine had a switch, so I just plugged my guitar directly into it, and this is what the guitar sounds like raw. So it's really simple. So it's a pretty simple loop there. I enjoyed making it, though. I was just kind of plucking around on my guitar while I was listening to the track, and then I came up with that. So you can see here it says there's about 40 takes. Some of them were completely botched. Some of them were pretty much all the way through. And then what I just did was I went through and I selected the best parts of each. You guys have seen me do this in other videos, and basically what you do is you just go to an area, click and drag the area you want from a particular region, and it'll select those areas. I'm not going to do that here because I have flex time applied and I don't want to mess that up. I don't know if it'll mess it up. It might. So I'm not going to mess with that right now. But one of the other things you could do that's really cool is, let's say you're like, okay, I like the length of this section. It's perfect, but I want to try it with this take instead. So all you'd have to do is go to above that area and then click. You just click, and then it flips this region up into this take. So you could flip an A-B between different regions really quickly, and you could kind of splice together the perfect performance that you would like. So I only used, I used a wide range. So I used some from the early takes, some from the middle takes, and some from the later takes. And then I composited this. So that was step one of the whole thing here. And then I went to flex time. And flex time, normally you could actually double click this and it'll pop open a little, here we go, like this. It'll pop open this right here, except it'll be in track. And you could just start flexing markers and stuff, or creating markers and doing flex time. However, when you do this multi-take, I'll talk about how to do a multi-take in case you guys don't know in a minute. But when you do this multi-take, everything is done inside here because there's like a whole ton of takes you have to balance between. So what I did was I went through and I got some of these, and you can tell a lot of them are nudged just very, very slightly. This one's actually nudged a little bit more. Here, let me zoom out so you can see. This is the whole loop. Most of them are very slightly offset. There are a few that are a bit more drastic. This one's probably a bit more drastic. Just so that the timing could get perfect. And so that makes everything perfectly on time. However, one of the things I actually noticed is very interesting. It's going to be hard to show here. But if I play this back with the rest of the track, it doesn't really sound like it fits too well. And the reason I actually found out is because if you have guitar parts perfectly on time, it actually sounds unnatural. You need to delay them a bit. So that was the first thing I added here. And it was actually one of the things I added later on in during the thought process. But it was actually... I put it first in the change so that it's not like, you know, it just makes sense to have it first. So I basically just added a delay of 20.4 milliseconds because that's what sounded approximately right. Like I tried doing it longer and it started to sound like things were out of time, and I tried to do it shorter and it started to sound like things were kind of out of time. So that was one of the bigger things that I noticed. Like if you record a guitar part and you've synchronized all the notes perfectly, but it still sounds awkward, chances are it's because they're synchronized perfectly. So add a bit of a delay, because if you think about it, if you have a guitarist playing to a drummer, what they'll do is they'll hear the drummer hit, and they'll react by playing a note. Now, that's not entirely true. A lot of really good guitar players will just play the note based on when they know the next drum hit is going to be. However, there's still kind of some factors that come into play that can affect that. And what you get is a very, very small delay that causes the notes to sound more natural because it's a bit looser. So one of the things that really stood out to me and made this obvious was when I played the guitar part by itself, it sounded perfect. But the instant I threw drums in, it sounded awkward. So I'm like, maybe it's some sort of like timing thing. So I tried delaying it. I actually tried offsetting it earlier to see if that would work. It didn't work. So I tried moving it so it was a little bit later, and it did start to work. So why DnB? Because I'm having fun with DnB. It's something I've never really tried before, and it's entertaining me. So, I mean, like, why make the same type of music all the time? Yeah, because then it just, like, becomes a boring routine that you're so, like, super used to. And it's like, I'm not really learning. I'm not really enjoying myself. I'm just kind of doing the same thing. It's like the daily grind. So I wanted to try DnB because I wanted to try to do the fast drums for one, which ended up working pretty darn well. And I wanted to try to do some different synths as well because I'm, like, sick of super saws. I'm not sick of super saws. I'm just like, I feel like every time I use a super saw, I'm using, it's like, it's too many times that I've used it. So I like the sound of them, but it's just like, come on, there's got to be some other type of synth I could use. And DnB doesn't have too many super saws. So play some guitar. I might later. We'll see. I might just do some plucking around on strings, so we can kind of get some like long sustained notes. We'll have some fun with that in a bit. Okay, so we have this recorded guitar part, and it basically sounds terrible in the mix. Because it's just like a recorded electric guitar straight in. There's like nothing on top of it. No distortion, no amp, no nothing. So, first thing you can see going in here, apart from the tuner that I had when I was tuning my guitar, which is quite convenient actually, because I didn't have to pull out my tuner. Because my tuner is in my effects pedal, and I don't have like another tuner, so it would have been a bit of a drag to have to plug in my effects pedal, put the guitar into that, and then set it into tune mode. Anyway, kind of convenient. There's a tuner here. Works pretty well. I enjoyed it. So first thing I did was I added a pedal board. What did I do on the pedal board? I just did some distortion to it. It's very simple distortion. I didn't like throw any other pedals on here. I didn't actually get a chance to check out too many of these, so don't get my opinions, or don't ask for my opinions on all of these, just because I didn't really get a chance to check out a whole bunch. I was just looking for some rough distortion to throw onto here. And it's like instantly that makes it sound like it fits a little bit better. So that's the primary thing I did there. And then I added a amp, which is just simply, like if you were to run the guitar after the pedals, if you were to run it into an amp and then mic the amp, this is what you'd get. I just ran a clean amp over top of this, as opposed to a distorted amp, because this is enough distortion already. So it's a pretty clean amp that I have going on top here. But you'll notice it does change the tone a lot, and it makes it super thin, which is fine because I wanted this guitar to be in the background. So speaking of background, what do? We have a space designer here. Now I think I turned off W1 limiter. I think I had both of those off when I started this demonstration here. I know I had the tuner off. I think I had two things off, and I think the limiter was the other thing. But anyway, so we have this reverb here, which is a very, very, very long reverb, and exactly what I wanted. I just went down to large spaces and halls. Halls are the long reverbs. If you go to rooms, there's some okay reverbs in there, but they're rooms. They're not halls. Halls are very long reverbs. So that's what I got here. It got nice and stereo. And the final thing I did was I just did a little bit of EQ. I lowered the overall level by 2 dB. And you can see I just did a little bit of a cut over here to kind of get rid of some of the muddiness. And I did a boost over here to increase the clarity. So we'll see what this does here. So what you probably noticed is it doesn't just make it brighter, it also kind of thins it out. And normally you'd be like, well, you lost a lot of your tone there. Yes, I did. That is absolutely correct. I lost a lot of my tone doing that, but that's actually kind of good because that tone is going to fill up a lot of stuff later. That tone is going to overlap a lot of stuff later if I leave it there. That's what I meant to say. So like as we start to add like basses and stuff, because we don't even have a bass in here. Like there's no bass. That bass is going to fill up the spot that I cut out with this EQ. So I'm basically just trying to keep the mix as clear as possible. So when I add more stuff in, it doesn't sound muddy. So it's kind of like a preemptive thing. Add harmonics. Yeah, I think you could hear a little bit there. But yeah, so that's generally what happened. And I did throw a limiter on here because I was trying to get the levels up. Just to kind of balance it a bit better, but I think I removed it because I don't really need it anymore. Yeah, it just kind of flattens it a bit, so I don't really need that. So that's why that's off. I could turn it on if I wanted to keep the level a little bit lower. Which is a decent idea, but you'll notice it kind of like, it affects the dynamics a bit. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to add a compressor, and I'm not going to compress it. I'm going to sidechain. So we have our kick drum here at bus 20, and then I can just go to my kick sidechain. Pretty simple. It's just the knee all the way down. The attack's pretty quick. The release is around here. The auto is off. It's just kind of a way to speed up the process a bit. And it'll do this. There we go. So it's a very subtle sidechain I'm doing here. I'm not doing like that pulsating sidechain. I'm just doing a little bit so that the kick stays clear. You'll notice when I turn this on, the kick doesn't sound like it's blending in with the guitar anymore. They sound very distinct and separate. So that's the purpose of this sidechain right here. So that's that deal there. And I think I like the tone of that, so I'm just going to keep that. One of the things I do need to do, though, that is now bugging me quite a bit is I'm clipping. And one of the things I didn't do is I didn't do my little gain trick. So I'm not actually in a safe zone. So what I want to do is balance this up, +8. And I need to get all my tracks. So get this stack here. Did I do volume automation on stuff? I did volume automation on the guitar, and that's about it. So assuming I have something at 0 dB, which I do, I have this sum. I can now grab everything else. That's a stack there. Just want to get the outer one. And then I'm going to bring these all down by the same amount. Actually, might make the kick so it's not being brought down quite as much, because that way that's just another way to push our kick forward. Yeah. So one of the things I realized about the Fiverr is I need to double check what I have it set to right now. I think if you go via direct link to my Fiverr, you might be able to still get it. But the deal is $5 for mastering is kind of like, I spend a lot of time on masters when they're other people's, because I want to make sure I get it right. So I'm like doing a lot of stuff like listening to the dynamics when I'm doing compression. It's not just like a quick master. And what that ends up being is it ends up being like a lot of work for $5 for me. So it's like, it's less than $5 an hour that I'm making. And that's kind of like, that time that I burn is time that should have been spent like doing school, for example, because I have homework that I need to take care of. And so that's kind of why I stopped doing the Fiverr stuff. I need to remove the URL from my stream, but yeah, it just ended up being a little bit too much time investment. And it's not because like I could do a quick master. I could do like a $5 master, but I don't want to do any less than the best that I could do. So it ends up being like a lot of time spent on the master for $5 profit for me. So it's kind of like, it's really, really bad returns on my end. So that's kind of why I ended up doing that. I apologize. Okay. Do the bouncy effect on, sum 3. I could show you how to do that with a tremolo. Yeah, I'll do that. So anyway, I have all the tracks selected. I'm going to go to X, so I'm in the mixer. And grab this 0 here. And I'm going to pull that down by like 9. So that's going to scale everything down by a related result. By a factor. I don't know. What's the word? I do math stuff. I should know this. But the problem is, so I brought it down by 9.2. So that means what I need to do is I need to do a 9.2 dB reduction on the guitar, Because the thing about the guitar is it's automated when it comes to the volume, so it's kind of like already... Wait, that's not the guitar. That's, this is something else. Okay, well, the guitar too, I guess. Yeah, the guitar. Okay, because there we go. That's the volume automation on the guitar. So that's two things I need to do it too. So, amp. Output. Oh, cool. So I could actually change that to like negative. It was at 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that sounds about right. I think that's about right for the reduction. And the nice thing is, when it comes to the space designer, the EQ, and the compressor, they're not going to be affected too much by the chain. Now, if I had put a gain reduction right here, it would have notably affected the tone of the pedal board and the amp. So that's why I didn't want to put a gain there. I would have put it after those, if anything. So there's that one, and I need to go to this track now. And I could probably just... what's that compressor? Is this compressor? Yeah, it's a sidechain compressor. So I could just reduce the master here. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit less granular control. I think I need to, like, reduce the... length of this. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. See. There we go. That's a little bit better. I'm moving my mic here, so it's a bit better position. Okay, DecM. Can you use Ableton stem files in Logic Pro X? I have no idea. It depends how you're getting them. If they are just WAV files, then yes, you can. You just drop them in there. However, if they have been exported using some other method, I don't know. I don't use Ableton. I never have. Actually, no, I have it on my laptop, but it's just like a very light, stripped down version of it that I got for free with my audio interface. So I really don't know how to use Ableton. Sorry, I can't help you there. As for getting my email, I do not hand that out. It's just because there's plenty of ways for you to message me. If you want to message me, using one of the ways I have talked about a lot, like either Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, Discord now. Discord's a great location to get my attention because I'm on there really often. But yeah, I don't hand out my email because email is one of those things that's very easy to get. I don't want to say compromised, but you could start getting spam in it really fast if you just hand out your email. So that's why I don't hand out my email. It's really easy to contact me with one of those other methods, so just do that. Okay, so DRAM, I'm going to assume that's how you say your name, asked how we did this bouncy effect on Sum 3. So it's just a tremolo here, and I'll open up tremolo with the default preset so you can see what I did. Tremolo, so we're just going to go stereo here. Normally this is what the tremolo does. It fades left and right. So the first thing you have to do is you have to change the phase. Right now it's at 180 degrees. You have to change the phase so that it is at 0 degrees. So it does the same thing on both sides. Phase is basically just the difference between the start point of the two LFOs. So now it just fades in and out. And we could change the rate here. So that's how it does. We do this sort of thing. They're basically the same. Actually. Except you'll notice this one's a lot more jumpy. So what do? We turn down the smoothness. And then it becomes like that. So pretty close. Keep on forgetting to turn off that one. Oh no, the automation turns it back on. So you'll notice it does hang out a little bit though. As opposed to this one where it's just... And how we compensate for that is we just change the depth. So there's a little bit allowed through at the bottom instead of being completely muted in these low areas. So so that's basically what I did there. It's pretty simple. You should be able to work it into some other stuff you're doing. Okay. So I think that's basically it in terms of setting things up and getting things working. Okay, let's take a listen to this again just to make sure that everything's working cool. It's sounding okay. Let me mute myself. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Did I miss anything in Dookie? Yeah, I could talk about how to stream in OBS in the second half of the stream. So when we go into track critiques and stuff. So okay. You kind of feel the guitar would be much better if it was faster. Yeah, it's hard to do that. I had enough trouble getting it, because, like, I don't play guitar at this BPM. It's just, like, very weird for me to try to play it at this BPM. So it was hard enough getting everything to, like, synchronize up as much as possible so I didn't have to flex time everything. One of the things I'm going to try here, I am hitting tab and not what I want to hit, is I'm going to try an effect. So... don't move the automation. What I wanted to do was this. Don't copy the automation. Let's see if I could do... I think you could fade out now. Can you fade out? No, you can't. I don't think you could do it individually. I might be able to, like... look at this region here. Select. I can fade out. However, I cannot change it to a slowdown. I wanted to have a tape stop sort of thing at the end. That's what I could try doing is scrolling back up to the top here for one. Oh, he has these. That didn't end up happening. Darn it. Okay, so let's see if I could trim that. I don't know how this will work. Let's see how this sounds, because what I wanted to kind of have like a full stop. I like full stops. You guys can probably tell from some of the tracks I've been making lately. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually copy this effect over here. So we get a little bit of... So we just get a little bit of movement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a crash as well. That'll... what am I even looking for? It's in here. My samples... there's some really long crashes in the Sounds of Kashmir Volume 2. That's why I like going for the crashes in here. So if we go crash, it's like really stinking long. And that's actually like a perfect crash too. It's exactly what I want. So I'll throw that right there. I'm going to bring it up with my effects region and bring that level down a lot. Probably going to turn the gain down to like -15 also. That was way too quiet. Oh, that's 25, not 15. I'm like, that doesn't sound like 15. I could actually bring that up a bit, huh? 10? No, -10 was what I wanted. There we go. Have I seen your message on Twitter? Let me check. I might have, and I might have just missed responding to it. Let's see, messages. Oh, you sent me a track. That's right. Yeah. I do remember listening to it. I don't remember what it sounds like right now, though. I'll take a listen to it later. Like in the next half of the stream here. I don't mean later as in like eventually when I get the time. I mean later on today. So checking some other social media, making sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so yeah. Dealio is from now on, if you want to get in touch with me, the new best way is the Discord channel. You could see there's a link, discord.gg, down in the description, and you can join our Discord server there. I don't know how many people have joined. It hasn't been too many people that joined since the last stream, so we're still at about 22. But if you want to get in contact with me, that is by far the fastest way. Sometimes I will say, yeah, I can't give you a full critique right now if you send me a track to critique. However, if you just want to ask me like a production question, then it's really quick to get a response from me. So, okay, so we've done a few things here, just kind of changing the structure of it. And there's a couple ways I could take this now. I could try to add more guitar, which I'm hesitant to do, because this guitar is already a lot of guitar, and if I wanted to put a clean guitar on top, it'd get drowned out by the fact that this is DnB and we have a distorted guitar. And if I wanted to add a distorted guitar, it'd conflict with the already existing distorted guitar. So yeah, only a few people talk in the Discord regularly. So, but I don't know. We'll see. Yes, we're gonna be adding a bass. That is the next proposal I was gonna say, because I could be adding more guitar, but I think I'll just pass on that for now. I got something in my eye. So I think what I'll do instead is I'll try to design a bass. However, this is the type of thing that I've never been too knowledgeable about, like how to design a dubstep bass or like a drum step bass or like a bass for drum and bass. I mean, I could just like run a standard bass, but I don't want to do that. I kind of want to do a moving sort of bass that's almost like a drum step bass. So I'll probably do it here. You know what? I want to try something. I'm gonna mute this thing right here. This weird sort of sound that we're having in the background. And I'm going to take a listen to see how the track sounds without that, because I kind of feel like it fills out the track a lot and makes the track not sound empty, but I don't know if I like it. So we'll see how it sounds without it. Okay, something else I'm noticing here. The automation on my EQ is not working, I think. Oh, no, it's working. For some reason, I thought it sounded like it wasn't doing as much as I thought it was. Never mind, it's fine. I was just watching it here move. That's one of the cool things about Logic. When you have like the EQ here and the compressor here, it'll show you real time how it's changing or doing stuff. So yeah, what this really does is it actually helps. I'll try pulling off the reverb because I don't know how much that'll change it. Is this in mono? It's weird. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but... I could throw it into stereo. Oh, that's right. I have to go to monophonic. Okay, something tells me something's pushing it into mono. What is that? Because I can tell right now that it's pan position? Stereo? Oh, there we go. That's kind of weird. Yeah, so one of the primary thing that this does is it keeps everything feeling like it's moving forward at a decent speed, and it kind of helps to make things sound in beat as well. I just brought down the reverb a little bit more so I could clean up some of that reverb, because it does sound, it does kind of like fill out a lot with that reverb, but it also makes things kind of sound muddy. So I just want to clean that up a bit. There we go. I'm liking the sound of that. That's working better. Okay, so. Hoo-wee. How long have we been running? Feels like we haven't been running too long. Just want to double check. Oh, it's like almost been an hour. Wow. That goes fast. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add a bass. Anybody have a suggestion as to which synthesizer I should use? Does anybody have a request? Because I have Serum, Silent, Massive, and Synth Master. So we got 4 options there. I could try to do something in ES2. It'd be really hard though. Ooh, no, I could actually let me try to do something in Alchemy, because I haven't really tried to make a dubsteppy style bass in Alchemy. Do it in ESP, dude. You can't. I don't think you could even do a like. Oh, that's a audio track. Whoops. I don't think you could even do a dubsteppy bass in ESP. Like, I don't think that works. Because for those of you that don't know, ESP, it's this, and it's like, that's it. It has the envelope, one envelope here. You get to choose how much of each type of waveform you want, and then you have filter with resonance, and then you have I think this is for the vibrato or the wah, whichever one you want to put it towards. That's the adjust the speed of it, and then you just have some other. This changes the envelope shape, I believe, kind of like the time curve. This adjusts the filter velocity based on your velocity. This is just the overall volume, velocity volume. How much does the velocity of a note press affect the volume? Chorus and overdrive. That's it. And this is just right here is just changing your octave. So, like, and you have a pitch bend range. Wait, there's a pitch bend range? I didn't think this thing could pitch bend. Oh, I see. Never mind. It's a pitch bend range for if you're using the pitch wheel, not for like gliding. Okay. So yeah, there's not much you could do with this. It's very, very bare bones. And it looks ridiculously old too. Like, it looks like it was made in Photoshop. Not in a good way. It looks like it was made using a lot of stock stuff and a lot of minimal knowledge of Photoshop. Not too impressive. Okay, so we have Alchemy. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to do this in Alchemy here. I apologize, Shrines. We're gonna try Alchemy today. Okay, so the one problem I've had with Alchemy is I don't know if there's a way. Is there like an easy way? Basic, keys, atmospheric. I just want file clear. There we go. That gives me an initialized sound. And I just realized I don't have my MIDI keyboard connected, so we're gonna go to it's a window, isn't it? Yeah, window, musical typing. Okay, so this is our basic saw. And what we're going to need to do is play this at a low octave. There we go. Already have the basis there. We're going to start with a sine. That'll be our bass, our sub rather. I think we'll have it at that level as opposed to like a super low sub. That's just too subby for doing some sort of transforming bass. Okay, so we got that. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly what waveform to layer on top of this. So I'm going to flip through some options here. Actually, that one sounds like it'll be okay. So we'll throw that one there. Look at some other options here. Okay, cool. So I think that's sounding good. And then let's see. I think one of the cool things about C here. Let me mute B first. We might be able to get this. Okay. There's got to be a frequency modulator. VA, additive, sampler, granular, detune, phase, symmetry. Well, that could be fun. Actually, let's take a listen to this. Yeah, we'll probably try to. I'm gonna have to map this to some stuff. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of mapping, so we can get things to move around. Let's see here. So we're gonna attach a. Okay, performance control 1, I guess. Well, I keep on hitting the wrong button. Yeah, we'll just do this. So we gotta have quick access to it, because we're gonna have to manually. Isn't it better to use a saw for the bass because it has more harmonics? Yes and no. Yes, because you get more harmonics, so you could actually generate higher frequency bass tones, I guess. However, it's not very good for getting a solid sub, because you like it really depends on what you're trying to do. There are certain ways that you could take advantage of a combination between them. Like, for example, I could get... No, I'd have to create another synthesizer. I could get, like, a low-pitched square and then a sine, have the sine be the bottom, so it's like the actual sub, and then have a square kind of layered on top so that it's around, like, around 150 up. So the sub is 150 down, and then this square or saw is 150 up. So I could do that. However, for the fundamental bass, I'm just going to stick with sine. Sometimes I use triangle because it gives us a little bit more harmonics to work with. But you kind of got to be careful when you switch those because you start to lose the pure sine that you kind of need to get a solid sub. So if you're not too worried about having a good sub bass and you just want a good bass, then you could break all those rules. It's perfectly fine. However, when you want actually to have a sub, you do need that clean sine. That's not like 100% guaranteed. That's what you need to do though. Now oh cool, we could add noise to this. I wish I could. There's got to be somewhere around here where I could. Well, maybe it's in global. Do frequency modulation because I'm sure this has frequency modulation in here somewhere. Voices, filter, tune, glide. Coarse tune, attack, sustain, release, decay. I'm not seeing position, speed. Unison. Yeah, I don't see pulse saw. That's additive, so that's not going to be relevant to this really. Huh. I was almost sure that there was a way you could do frequency modulation in here. I guess I would kind of be wrong in that regard. I'm not sure. I'm not going to dig for it too much longer just because I don't want to burn time. But yeah, I thought there was... Maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe it's under a tab that I'm not looking at. But it's... Oh, morph. Duh. Morph, buzz... Oh, no, wait. Is this morph XY sign? Would this be it? I don't know. I'm just going to stop messing around with it. Auto gain. Fade linear. No, that's morph. Never mind. Yeah, it's not going to be there. Okay, so we're just going to forget about that. We're going to turn on B as well. Turn on that oscillator. And probably do the same thing here. We're going to map the symmetry to... the performance control 1. and then do this. So, ooh, actually, I want to try to do this. We're gonna try to do this inversely. So I could do this. So the symmetry kind of goes the opposite directions for the two oscillators. So it's kind of a weird sound there. And, oops, I wanted to go to global here. Filter, we're going to try to do a very aggressive. So we have a variety of filters here. We're going to try this bottom one because these are all very aggressive filters. They're not really like normal filters. These are just low pass, band pass, high pass. These are very different. These are all balanced to filter 1, correct? Am I stupid right now? What is bit crusher pregain FX main? What? Why is this not working? I vaguely remember there being a thing that I had to do in order for it to go through the filter. Okay, low pass. That works. Bit crusher. Bah. Filter 1, filter 2. Those are all balanced to filter 2, effects main. I feel like an idiot. What was it that I had to... Because there's like some sort of mix. There we go. That's what it was. Duh. The mix button, everybody's yelling. Click there, just drag the mix button. That's got to be it. So that's pretty aggressive. What we'll do instead, though, is we'll balance all these between the two filters. So I could do this. So I have this other filter here that I could look at. Turn this one on, and then I could do something like a comb. Ugh. It's not quite as aggressive as I wanted it to be. Let's just balance all these to this one first for now. That's doing a lot. Not the compressor. So there's our frequency modulator we were looking for. I'm going to map this to the same... okay, to the same performance control that we had. And the reason is because what this allows us to do is... we'll try out some other options here. It's really loud. That's too gritty, though. Let's try to balance between these two. What do we get? Doom, doom, doom. I wish I could just have like the volume level right here for each of them, rather than having to balance like this. Oh, that's right. Okay, so they're in parallel right now. We could throw them in serial if we want, though. That'd be messy. You don't want, like... Okay, you know what? We might just do a more basic. That's kind of cool, but it's really dirty. Okay, so one of the reasons I'm like getting a really weird sound now is because the idea is you throw it through distortion, and these weird things will do even more. So I'm gonna need to change the output level to like really low, and then. Okay, so it's not. Whoops. Probably just need to swap this to some sort of regular bandpass or something. And then what we could do is we could mix this. Change the resonance. Maybe we want high resonance. Nah, it's a little bit. Okay, and what we need to do is I think we need to send the sign so it's. Okay, so that actually might work. Do I want to try to throw more distortion on there, though? Ooh, we could try a different type. Ugh. The problem is it gets really overpowering when you drive it super hard. That's like... Yeah, it gets way too loud, so... And we'll just stick with nasty for now. I'm gonna need to turn that down, but let's see here. What I'd like to do is, you know, maybe we'll try. Turn this down. I kind of want, what I'd like to be able to do is filter this individual oscillator, which I might be able to do here. Yes, I can. To get rid of the high frequency content while keeping that like grungy low end, which I'm not having right now. All the thin waves aren't going so well for me. Let's go to these. Probably bring it up to -12 instead. See how that sounds. So I need to change the maximum cutoff here. Okay. Whew. Okay, so this is kind of difficult. I'm not used to doing this sort of thing with synthesizers. Okay, so I think this is kind of what we need in terms of a synthesizer. The interesting part now is going to be getting... Don't copy. Gonna go open this up here so we can do some editing and take a listen to this. These need to be down a lot lower. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of clicking around. Disclaimer. I have some ideas as to what I... I don't even know what's in key. What key are we in? I would venture to say G minor, but I don't know for sure. Ah, that was loud. Okay, so I'm just going to need to automate this. And... I'm going to change the output of Alchemy so it's a bit louder. Going to global here. Master volume level. It's probably down here, huh? Nope. Oh, here we go. Change it to ultra. There we go. So we're driving the distortion a bit more. And I think what I'll do as well is with this EQ, I'll cut out some of this. Because it just... It kind of gives us more sub and more of the high end when we cut out that. So... And... Oh, ooh, actually there's another thing I could do. I don't know how much it'll do. I'm just going to try this. I'm going to try throwing Camel Crusher on top of this. And using the mech distortion. And what I wish I could do is I wish I could kind of want to have like a filter that with some mix. Like if I do filter, auto filter, and then go to some sort of, I don't know. Okay. That's going to be very weird. Okay. It's also very high pitched. Let's see if there's a way I could get that to. Just have to change the envelope less. Release, make it. I need to change the release on this too. I'm gonna change it to bandpass too. I'm gonna put this before the distortion, see how that does. It's kind of cool. That just got a lot bigger, I think. Can I get it like, what's regular size? That's not super big. Well, I guess, whatever. View 75%. That's kind of cool. This doesn't do. There we go. Too slow. Okay, so I think that's kind of an interesting tone we're getting out of this synthesizer. So, I don't know. Hard part is then, what are we gonna do with it? Let's try this. I don't even think I'm making a bass that's gonna work right. I don't know how to do it, so it's like it's kind of got this growl to it, but maintains its sub without getting muddy. Maybe it's just because I like. The easy thing to do is with this, just modulate this with a LFO for now. LFO 1, sure. Rate is 1/4. Let's make this. Can I change the add modulation, performance? I kind of want to like have it so when I go from here to here, it changes the depth of the sign. I mean, I could just add modulation. Vote follower, performance, control XY pad 1, control 1, 2, 3. Wait, does this just... No, it doesn't blend automatically. Thinking about upgrading from 10.9 to 10.10, but you don't want to lose some of the plugins used in Arrays because they're incompatible with Logic Pro. Oh, ugh. That's a tough one. Okay, so there's an easy solution and a hard solution. The easy solution is... A hard solution is finding 64-bit versions for everything. Easy solution is 32 lives, which is this. So 32 lives, what it does is it allows you to use all your 32-bit project or plugins in Logic Pro X. So that's probably going to be the only difference in compatibility between Logic Pro and Logic Pro X. So it's going to be $100 extra just to get the compatibility. But honestly, I like Logic Pro X enough to where I'd say upgrade from Logic Pro 9 to Pro X. It's a big jump, in my opinion. And I haven't bought 32 lives because most of the plugins that I use are just 64-bit anyway. The big exceptions were Synth and Stormgate was one that was 32-bit. I replaced Stormgate with Volume Shaper, and Synth got updated. So lucky me, I didn't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, what you could do is you could just upgrade your plugins as much as possible to 64-bit. And the ones that you do use regularly, decide if you need them or not, because it's kind of going to disappear unless you get 32 lives. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make my own version of 32 lives that I could just give out for free. However, that would take a long time, so I can't commit to doing that anytime soon. That is on my list of plugins to make. I'll be getting back working on my the plugin that I was kind of working. That was a fork of SM Exoscope. But that's gonna take a while to finish. Once I finish that one, whoops. I just closed Firefox. I didn't mean to quit that. I meant to just... Great. Now I can't see chat. Live dashboard. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I have that one, and then I want to create a free something like Volume Shaper slash LFO tool, where it's just like a side chaining where you could change the curve. Very simple in that regard. That's going to be the next plugin I tackle. And then after that, the next plugin I tackle is going to be a 32-bit to 64-bit adapter for plugins. However, that is like the three of those is just going to take forever. It's like I cannot say when any of those will be done because it's not going to be an easy thing for me to complete. So I apologize that I can't give you those right off the bat, but I do have hopes to make those someday here. so that people don't have to pay for simple things like that. Okay, so back into this. I have no idea what I'm doing. What, I could just do this. Where's my low end? I want... Ooh, you know, I could do that. I just got an interesting idea. So bus... Let's send this to bus... Bus 5 doesn't look like it's in use. And then we'll get rid of you. No send. I'm going to send you over there. I'm going to send the auto filter. What on earth? Where am I? Bus 5. There we go. Auto filter, distortion. Actually, I'm going to throw that there. So now I can mix. Now I can mix between these. And if I do this, what happened? Excusez-moi. How do I change this now? I want this to be pre-fader. What? Okay, well there used to be a way where you could change this from pre to post fader. Post pan. No send. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Pre-fader. There we go. So what does it sound like with none of that processing? I'll probably move that over there then. Whoops. That was not what I wanted. Boom. See how we could... And then I could add an EQ here that does the low pass. Or the low cut, rather. There we go. And that gets rid of all my issues that I was having before. Do I have a GitHub profile? Yes, I do. It is currently not being used correctly, though. I'm basically... just dropping files onto it, or dropping project folders onto it. It's not actually set up how it should be set up for appropriate development purposes. But, yeah, I do have one. Let me... Okay, so that sounds like a mess, but what I might be able to do here is go in to the Alchemy LFOs, LFO1 rate, and we can do this. Okay, let's see how this doesn't sound. So that's kind of like what I need to be doing, but manually. So it's working now, which is a good sign. I kind of want to see if I could bit crush this a little bit, though. Just a little. Distortion. Bit crusher. Resolution will be full. Enough to make it sing. Yeah, I'll probably just pass on that. Okay, so now that we know that that kind of works, what I need to do is remove this LFO that we added, because now we know that it works. So turn that off, and we go back to the... I thought we turned that off. Depth. Excusez-moi. This LFO here, like, what is it doing? Sync delay attack phase. Velocity. Oh, no, wait, that was velocity I turned off. There we go. Okay, so, I want to go back to what I have done to the filters and how I have modulated things. Here we go. Filter 2 cutoff. Auto assign. LFO. Rate. What is it currently targeting, though? Show target. LFO assign output volume. Master volume. Velocity, master volume. Performance. Filter 2 cutoff. Okay. Clear modulation. LFO 1 sign output volume. Okay, there we go. So we need something like alchemy, performance. Where did performance 1 go? Attack, decay, 2 cut, release, sustain, transform pad. Okay, let me just name it really quick, I guess. That'll make it easier to find. Main. No, alchemy, performance. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and there's now I just need to filter some other stuff. I could just do the alchemy volume, master output volume. See ya. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a mess trying to figure out how to get things to sound decent. Because, like, I could actually try to figure out how to do stuff, but I don't know how to. Oh, I forgot. That's right. That's not tied to the gech. I have no idea what I'm doing. I should probably just like close this up. This is a mess because like I have no idea how to do these basses, and I don't really listen to this style of music in terms of with the basses. I've never ever tried to do one of these basses before, so it kind of just ended up being a bit of an epic fail. Maybe I should just remove the volume. Yeah, that'd probably just end up working out better. Remove all that volume automation. Dang. Ow, my ears. Yep. Okay, so that's a thing that could potentially turn into something decent, but I don't know. It kind of just sounds bad. So, let's see. How long have we been running here? Let's see. It won't say. An hour and a half. Okay, I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna run this. I might. Everyone, prep up your tracks for track critiques because we are gonna do that. We're gonna do that afterwards, and it's not gonna be as long as last time. We're gonna try to cut this to a little bit shorter than last time because last time was a ridiculously long stream, and it was just too long. I couldn't really handle it. It ended up becoming a mess. So, yeah, I like how this track is going. But my gosh, I cannot make dubstep basses. Oh. I forgot. There's like an instant dubstep bass button. Man. Why do I always forget these things? So if I go to Serum. Window. Where's musical typing? Open. Musical typing. There we go. If I go to the magical... Don't copy. And just go like this. Create another one, and then switch presets. And I close musical typing. That's weird. And copy this. And then we'd have to throw some sort of gating on top of this. So we'll just go to Cable Guys, Volume Shaper 4. And I think I could actually just use a regular side channel sound. Interesting. You know what? Let's just do sidechain compression, see how that sounds. Compressor, stereo. Sidechain compression, bus 20. Really heavy. Ah! Come on. And then add one more. This has just kind of become a preset fest, but hey, it's kind of working. And go back to Serum, Monster 3, and of course, oh wait, was that, I think I just skipped, yeah. View window, musical typing. I'm gonna try that. I have no idea. Come on. Okay, let's do this. Preferences audio. Let's increase our IO buffer size to as big as possible. Hopefully this doesn't kill my audio. Okay, so we still have audio. Okay, so unfortunately Serum is not syncing for this particular one. It's probably got some sort of unique syncing to it. Which LFO is doing the modulation for this stuff? Macro, wavetail position, modulation, aux source. Huh. So it's not actually really... It's just a wavetable, I guess? Nope, I want to go here. No, why? I feel like there's a really fast LFO on top of this, but it's just not. It's actually not. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I have some hard basses here. No idea what that's in here. So if we go to, what envelope? It's this envelope. Sustain. Make this kind of linear. I need to push this up into the higher frequencies. So. Okay, so I need to change the frequency of that filter, or this LFO here. Make it... let's try distorting this. See what fun that gets us. Distortion, we'll do the fun and only clip distortion, because I hear you get some pretty rough stuff out of this. There we go. Okay. Kind of like that. And then what we'll do is we'll attach this to this a bit. There we go. I want more low end from this, though. It doesn't sound subby enough. Oh, it's probably because of... Oh, it's because I have the freaking low end filtered off. There we go. That's a bit better. But the problem is none of these are anywhere near loud enough. So I'm going to have to, first of all, I want to get off all this garbage. It's the reverb that's already on there. Get rid of that. No send. No send. No send. No send. There we go. We'll create track stack. Summing stack. And then throw ye almighty sausage fattener on there. Sausage fattener. It's and it's automatic fatness. And then we just have to dynamics, compressor, stereo, bus 20, do our kick sidechain again. Yeah, I know. There we go. I want to put this in stereo too. Where is it? Let's drop this in stereo. It's probably not a good idea, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, so which oscillator is really... So it's kind of this one. So what we'll do is we will grab unison. We'll make it 2. Actually, we could do 3. There we go. Like that. Okay, let's listen to this. See how this goes. If you Shrines, if you mean this sub, is it phasing out? Then you would be very wise to assume so, although I don't actually know if it is. Here, we could do this. Utility, no, not IO, gain. I wanted gain. Gain, here we go. Set it into mono. I don't think the sub is phasing. No, the sub's not phasing. It's just what the distortion's doing to it. I mean, there should be like a mix knob in this. Apparently there isn't. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's perfect. I'm going to change up this synth as well, so we could have it a little bit longer. Okay, and this one needs to be... It's a little too, what's the word? It's kind of like it's too smooth, so it needs to be a little bit more grungy. And, I think, if I run this through Camel Crusher's mech distortion, that should fix it. Yeah, I think that'll work better. There we go. Balance that out just a little bit so it's kind of more controlled. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here, just because we've kind of done something now. I scrapped the synth that I spent the entire stream making, but at least we have something that's like starting to sound okay, and I don't know, we kind of have a working ground. I'm gonna need to spend more time during the week. I think the more interesting part was what I did to the guitar over the week, so that was kind of cool. Excuse me, that was kind of cool, like getting to add that in. So yeah. Okay, so everyone, get your tracks prepped up for track critiques if you want to be part of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the stream and then start it back up in several minutes, and then we'll do a few track critiques. I'm not going to do a whole ton, so probably first 5 that get in I'll be able to do. Maybe 6, maybe a few more. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm definitely going to keep it cut so it's a lot closer to 2 hours instead of like the 6 hours that we did yesterday. So anyway, for those of you that are wrapping this up in terms of watching the stream or watching recording, either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll try to have more prepped next time. We'll be able to do a little more stuff that's like not as random and confused. So I'll try to have a bit more of a plan next time. I mean, I was able to talk about quite a bit with the bit we did with the guitar here. But that synth that I tried to make was just kind of like a lost cause. Like right here is garbage. So next time we'll try to have a little bit more planned. And I didn't pull out the guitar. Like I said, I might. We might do that next time. It depends how far I get in this. I'll try to wrap up this section so that we get into something a bit more like a break. And then maybe we could add a little bit more guitar next time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. And for those of you that want to do track critiques, stay tuned.